Say goodbye to that plastic cup you got there, girly, because you're not getting one at Starbucks. Yeah, seriously. So if you have ever gone to Starbucks and gotten your, you know, fruity, funky iced coffee that's colorful, don't worry, you're not going to be able to see it anymore. Okay. Because Starbucks is making another leap in conservation efforts and they are moving away from plastic cups. So now customers that order a cold drink will get a non plastic cup. Now, as of right now, this just started in February in 14 states. And the states you could expect to see this in is California, Washington, Hawaii, Minnesota, Arizona, New Mexico, Massachusetts, Michigan, Maryland, Connecticut, Virginia, South Carolina, Colorado, and Georgia. And so instead of your clear plastic cup, with like the little dome and the plastic straw you shouldn't be using anyway, you are going to get a new cup made out of a fiber-based paperboard with bioplastic linings. Okay? But the kicker is they are compostable, not combustible, compostable, which at this point I don't think would make any difference because it might as well blow up in my hands. Just saying. But so there's kind of a two-prong thing here. So first, it's part of their whole, they have a goal that all packaging should be reusable, recyclable, or compostable by 2030. The second part of that is a lot of different local governments are basically outlawing single-use plastics. And of course, Starbucks plastic cups going to fall into that.
Yes.
But their other reasoning is they're trying to bring back the real cafe experience at Starbucks. And so they are basically encouraging customers to use dine in dishware, AKA real plates and real like cutlery,
Yeah.
instead of opting for to go packaging. Now, this is all fine and well, but for those customers that don't want the new compostable cups or prefer to stick with plastic, Starbucks says that's fine. We're going to offer you an alternative. That is that customers can bring their own clean personal reusable cup and or they can order their beverage for here and their beverage will be served in a ceramic mug or a glass. Oh my goodness.
This is wild. So, like, we've had conversations about Starbucks and how they don't want people hanging out, right?
No.
Like they've basically said we don't like people hanging out here all day. But then they want you to use their glassware, right?
No.
Which they've had it there before. I worked there from '07 to 2014. It's existed that entire time, but the amount of people who use it is so few and far between. Even people that we saw on a daily basis who would come in, drink their coffee there, and leave would use the paper cups over the reusables. Just saying, putting that out there.
But wasn't that the status symbol? Like before Starbucks, nobody cared where you got your coffee. But now
Right.
that you've got this fancy, you know, cardboard with the little ring around it with the mermaid and green, like people got
Yeah.
to know you went to Starbucks.
Right. And I mean, it's become more of a luxury since their prices have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And it's, I think they've lost sight of their own point. I
Yeah.
really do. And I think that has to do with the mixed messages that they're sending to the public. Like, we want you to stay, but don't stay too long. And use this cup, but then once you're done, have a great day.
Yeah.
Toodaloo. Like, and then the other side of that is you're offering a compostable cup. But does Starbucks have compostable processes? composting processes, because that doesn't just mean throwing things in the trash.
No.
There's an entire process you need to put into place when you have compostable items that you actually anticipate composting. And I
Well,
don't think
and
they have those processes in place.
yeah. Well, I think it's funny too because I didn't know that you could actually go to Starbucks and get their grounds that they have already brewed so you can add them to your compost pile or your garden, da da da.
Yeah.
And so they have a lot of these like grassroots thing where they're all about recycling and making things go. So I get it. But at the same token though, do you think Molly Sue buying her, iced latte gives a crap about this compostable cup? No, she wants the clear cup with the Starbucks logo on it. And especially if you're ordering like a pink drink or one of their like mermaid, funky colors, she wants people to be able to see what she's drinking. And you're not going to be able
Well,
to do that in a compostable cup.
it's interesting. The single use cups are a uniquely American thing. Like, we went to Europe last year, and like the standard is you get your coffee in a for here cup, and you sit down and you drink it and you hang out and then off you pop. The only place that I know for a fact that I could get a cup of coffee in a paper cup to go was in a Starbucks in Europe, because it is an American thing to take your coffee with you on the go with this whatever status symbol label on it. Like,
I
it's
imagine people at Starbucks in European countries are so confused.
to a point.
You know what I mean?
It's
Because,
it's hard ordering coffee there.
yeah.
It's really confusing to everybody. Trust me. Like,
I was about to say, I'm already confused ordering Starbucks in America, but I can't imagine, like somebody in the UK or in France trying to
mm,
order coffee at Starbucks because it's like Americanized European coffee. Like, oh, it's so many
it's
levels of confusing.
it's a
And
conundrum.
so supposedly the CEO is making all these big changes and things are going to get better and simpler and you're not going to accidentally order a $72 latte anymore with all the upsells.
Yeah.
But at this point, even if you do get your coffee and it doesn't cost you a freaking arm and a leg, it's not going to be what you're used to. And I think especially with it coming into like warmer months, like right now we're in the winter time, people are probably ordering hot coffee. It's not a big deal. But when we're
Right.
talking about the summertime, that's when you get that switch from the regular, paper Starbucks cup to the plastic, almost like Slurpee cup with the big
Yeah.
logo on it. And it's just, I just think it's going to backfire big time.
I wonder what that looks like for things like frappuccinos, because frappuccino usually has like whipped cream on top.
That's what I'm talking about. The little
And
fancy
the
schmancy.
well, with the dome lid, it gives you the space for the whipped cream and the caramel sauce that you put on top of the caramel frappuccino. Like, if you're switching to a paper cup, I wonder if they're still going to have a dome lid on it, or if they're changing out their lids.
It would
Like,
have to be
because
different. And then
I'd be
how much,
so mad. I'd be so mad. You're going to rip me off with my whipped cream and caramel sauce? No.
or you're just going to get less, but this might be the new Starbucks version of shrinkflation.
Mm. Oh my
And
goodness.
how much more expensive is this compostable cup compared to the regular plastic one? So are
Yeah.
now my drinks going to be even more expensive because got to pay for your fancy dancy compostable cup?
Like, it's already, we went through today because kiddo got her hair cut and decided that she wanted to go to Starbucks for a pink drink, no less. And I said, all right, fine. And so we went, and I got myself just a hot tea with soy in it. There was no soy in it, but whatever. And it was $9. It was $9 for two small drinks. I
Wow.
don't go anymore because it's $9 for a cup of hot tea and a pink drink, both of which are smalls.
Yes.
Drives me nuts. But we don't use straws there either, by the way, because they have the sippy cup lid.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So tell us down below, would you stop going to Starbucks because you can no longer get your cold drink in a plastic cup? Or are you excited about the compostable cups or combustible, whichever way you want to go? Tell me, are you excited about this? Are you, so greenwashed that this sounds like a good idea? Or is this about as bad as banning and unbanning straws 27 times? So let us know down below what your thoughts are.